Did you see Elon Musk's bedside table picture that he put on Twitter? He had that in the lower left corner of the picture. That is the symbol that comes from ancient Hindu that is supposed to be the most powerful thing in the entire universe. This is a staged photo. So the fact that he has that Vajra in the lower left corner, I wonder, is he essentially sending a shot off the bow to the people who he thinks are going after him, which is that I have knowledge of something.
The most crucial ceremonial tool in Vajrayana Buddhism is the Vajra. Vajra in Sanskrit means something hard or mighty, such as a diamond. It is an unbreakable, unmovable, indestructible state of wisdom and enlightenment. Our understanding of the Vajra dates back to very early times. According to the texts, the Vajra was once a different emblem than the one we associate with serenity and tranquility. It initially occurred in ancient India when the Vedic sky god Indra, the ruler of the Devas, used it as his primary weapon. According to the Hindu Puranas, the terrible Asuras, Namuchi, and Vritra took away all the light and moisture from the earth. It rendered the land uninhabitable for life. Indra fought the demon gods in vain and, in desperation, appealed to their supreme god Vishnu for assistance. Only a weapon that was neither solid nor liquid could kill Namuchi and Vritra, according to Vishnu, who described it as a weapon of the gods. The heavenly craftsman belonged to Vishnu. Indra was given a magnificent weapon by Vishnu to use against the terrifying Asuras, crafted by the celestial carpenter Tvashta. The Vajra, a brand new gun, shot out bolts of lightning. With it, Indra destroyed Namuchi and Vritra, giving the earth its much-needed light and moisture. The war is described in the Rig Veda. Now I tell the glorious deeds of Indra, who holds Vajra. He killed the serpent and made the waters flow. He broke the hearts of mountains. He killed the snake, which was taking refuge in the mountain. Tvashta made the Vajra for him. Like the cows making sounds, flowing waters reached the sea. Mighty Indra chose Soma and drank from 3 containers. Generous Indra held Vajra in his hand and killed firstborn among the serpents. Rig Veda 132. When employed, the Vajra was hurled towards the adversary. In his essay, Ritual Implements in Tibetan Buddhism, Nitin Kumar writes, as a hurled weapon, the indestructible thunderbolt blazed like a meteoric fireball across the heavens in a maelstrom of thunder, fire, and lightning. The Vajra is typically represented in traditional art as a metal shaft with 3, 5, or 9 prongs that project from lotus blooms on either end. Indra's Vajra originally had open prongs, according to the Rig Veda, an ancient Indian book. According to mythology in Buddhism, Shakyamuni, the Buddha, stole the Vajra from Indra and compelled its prongs to close, turning it from a lethal weapon into a non-violent scepter. According to academics, there's no connection between American cosmology, Indian mythology, Greek, Australian, or Norse mythology. They hold that there's no deeper, older, universal heritage, and that each civilization developed its gods on its own. If this were the case, then the myths, customs, beliefs, and iconography that form the basis of these communities should be distinctive to them, their surroundings, and their past. American historical accounts of conflict, intrigue, and conquest differ greatly from those from England, France, India, and China. The national emblems, traditions, and customs are all interconnected, yet a pattern of similarity can be seen when we examine a wide spectrum of ancient and indigenous groups. Indian myths and symbols are frequently mentioned in oral and written accounts of other cultures. They also show up in their creative renderings. These depictions are independent of space and time. For instance, numerous ancient civilizations referred to the thunder emblem or the thunderbolt as a destructive force. Lightning is often connected in mythology to the thunder god, a sky god who wields lightning as a weapon. The Greek sky god Zeus is most frequently linked with the thunderbolt in the Western world. He used it to defeat the Titans and seize power over the Greek pantheon. According to myth, Zeus released the great builders known as the Cyclopes imprisoned in Tartarus, the depths of the underworld. They offered him the thunderbolt as a gift in appreciation for freeing them. In a different version, Zeus faced up against the 100-headed serpent Typhon, one of the biggest and most dreadful monsters in all of Greek mythology, with the help of his powerful weapon. Early depictions of Zeus show him wielding a rod that resembles a thunderbolt, while other paintings depict this lethal implement with its ends spread out into 3 prongs. A weapon resembling a Vajra is also seen in Sumerian cosmology. The Enuma Elish, a creation epic written in Babylonian, mentions its use. The 4th tablet of this ancient record describes a conflict between the sky god Marduk, Bel, and the snake Tiamat. Enuma Elish said the mighty and malevolent Tiamat was planning treason against Ea and the other ruling gods. The gods hesitated to call upon her heinous wrath and searched for a remedy. Ea pulled away rather than engaging in combat when she tried to challenge Tiamat. His son Marduk offered to take on the angered serpent in exchange for one thing: he would rule the entire universe if he were to be successful. The gods granted Marduk their permission and gave him a bow, a mace, and a net to employ in his conflict with Tiamat. Marduk clutches a 3-tipped scepter in this dramatic scene. The identical, deadly 3-pronged weapon is clearly detailed in later pictures. They gave him the unrivaled weapon, the destroyer of the enemy, saying, "Go, cut off the life of Tiamat. Let the wind carry her blood into the depth under the earth." The gods, his fathers, issued the decree for the god Bel. They set him on the road which leadeth to peace and adoration. Enuma Elish. Another explanation of the Vajra is provided in Rigveda. It's described in some books as having thousands of prongs and being made of metal. This variation of the Vajra can be seen in many other civilizations. The most well-known Norse cosmological tales feature the Vajra in its club-like shape. They are linked to Thor, the sky god. In Norse mythology, his massive hammer Mjolnir was a terrifying weapon. The thunder deity Thor is typically depicted with his mighty hammer. Mjolnir is referred to in some manuscripts as a hammer, but in others, it is either an axe or a club. In the depths of the earth, the dwarf master builders created Mjolnir. Mjolnir is described as a hammer that would not falter in the Norse Skaldskaparmal included in the Snorri's Edda. It may flatten mountains if used as a weapon. It continues by saying that if directed at anything, it would always hit its mark. It tells us that not only would it never miss its mark, but it would also always find its way back into its owner's palm. Thor faced off against Jormungandr, a gigantic serpent, using his mighty hammer. Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, is not slain in these legends, not until the climactic battle of Ragnarok, which heralded the end of the world, that Thor would clash with Jormungandr the final time. The venomous serpent Volos, who rose from the underworld and took something valuable from the sky deity Perun, is a figure from Slavic mythology. Perun would drive Volos back to his underworld realm every year with lightning bolts. Like Thor's powerful hammer, his lethal axe was employed to slay the evil Volos and vanquish evil. It would also be tossed and then come back to his hand. The Gaibulug, or lightning spear, is the magical weapon of Ulster Cuchulainn in Irish mythology. With the help of his magical weapon, Cuchulainn battled and murdered Ferdia, his foster brother and boyhood buddy. The Gaibulug is a spear or dart that, upon piercing the body, shatters into numerous barbs that deliver lethal wounds. Once it impaled the body, it was nearly impossible to remove. The terrible repercussions of the Gaibulug are as follows, according to the Irish Book of Leinster. It entered a man's body with a single wound like a javelin, then opened into 30 barbs. Only by cutting away the flesh could it be taken from that man's body. Book of Leinster. The magical spike carried by Huang Tianhua in the Chinese legend of Hua Hu Tiao devours Yang Qian sounds strikingly similar to Indra's Vajra. The Qin King, deprived of their magical weapons, began to lose heart. To complete their discomfiture, Huang Tianhua brought a matchless magical weapon to the attack. The spike was 7.5 inches long, enclosed in a silk sheath, and called a heart piercer. It protected so intense a ray of light that eyes were blinded by it. Huang Tianhua, hard-pressed by Mo Liqing, drew the mysterious spike from its sheath and hurled it at his adversary. It entered his neck, and with a deep groan, the giant fell dead. Myths and Legends of China, E.T.C. Werner. We come to a comparable lethal lightning weapon in the new planet utilized by the sky gods. The god Huitzilopochtli is revered in Aztec culture. Soon after he was born, Huitzilopochtli killed his sister Coyolxauhqui using his weapon Xiuhcoatl, also known as the fire serpent. The ancient Mayan rain god Chac and the later Aztec god Tlaloc are seen with lightning axes. They are occasionally shown wielding snakes that stand in for lightning bolts that they would hurl from the mountaintops where they escaped. The god Illapa is found in Peru and is pictured as a man holding a sling in his right hand and a club in his left. The idea of the thunderstone is a modification of the lightning motif. When the gods are at war with one another, thunderstones are said to fall from the sky. All over Africa, this concept is widely accepted. For instance, the Yoruba people of southwest Nigeria believe that their axe-wielding storm god Shange generates thunder and lightning and sends thunderstones to earth. Wherever lightning struck, the elders of this culture would look for these mystical stones. The Vajra, a weapon that causes thunder, is only one of the countless similarities found in myth, mythology, culture, and iconography worldwide. There are similarities in the cosmologies of the Greeks, Sumerians, Norsemen, Aztecs, Australians, and Americans. The gods, their existence, and their incredible weapons are examples of these analogies. They also comprise the norms and rules that form the foundation of society and regulate our daily activities. The fact that symbolism is present worldwide suggests another idea. Similar to the Vajra, weapons were not created by man. They did not develop as a result of the evolution of a civilization. They existed. They could be felt. It was observed and recorded by someone in the distant past. A precise and accurate description of this fantastic weapon, which released thunder, could only be created by actual interaction with it. Additionally, if objects like the Vajra are authentic, we must agree that the gods who used them were real beings. This newly discovered information could pave the way for a radically new perception of who we are. It could force us to reconsider everything we believe to be accurate, the foundations of our civilization, and our place in the cosmos.